Howdy, folks. Today we're looking at Crime Destroyer True Till Death from 2021 in Floating World Comics. Now, here's a true oddity just recently plucked from the back issue bins. A collaboration between three prominent cartoonists, a bulletin from a moment of great cultural churn. Crime Destroyer is the name of the book and the title character, a hulking avatar of law and order standing up against the deadly gangs menacing the peaceful streets of Optic City. The most dangerous gang is the Pilgrims, a Puritan punk gang enforcing a violent brand of pseudo-straight-edge philosophy. Something is happening to radicalize the city's young men, to turn them against the grain of society, and the only person brave and strong enough to stand against the tide of delinquency is the Crime Destroyer. We know the man's real name is Stem DeFreeze. We're told he's a former bantamweight street fighting champion and a war hero, but how he started on his one-man crusade against crime is unknown. He's got connections all across the city, and once the bad guys start bombing local political rallies, he springs into action. The focus of the plot is a boy named Daniel, whose mother is killed in a bombing. After he sees his mom turned into a thin red paste, the Crime Destroyer takes Danny to stay at the Optic City Home for Lost Boys, run by a mysterious gentleman named only the Director. Would you believe me if I told you the Director, so fixated on cleanliness and purity, had sinister motives and deep connections to the campaign of terrorist attacks against mayoral candidate Billy Graham? It's spelled different, described as a popular populist and a secret socialist. Somehow Daniel is the key, and his descent into a twisted underworld of drug trips and sex trafficking pulls Crime Destroyer further into the nightmarish world of the Director's sprawling compound. Shaky Kane has been a favorite of mine for a good long while, a prolific talent with an eye towards political satire. His style could be described as a hybrid of Gilbert Hernandez and Jack Kirby, assaultive at times, purposefully awkward at others. If you're familiar with the Bulletproof Coffin series, and if not, you really should be, you'll recognize the tone, an exhumation of late 20th century heroic fiction filtered through the dead eye of children's entertainment. You can easily imagine a figure like Crime Destroyer appearing in an early 90s Saturday morning cartoon. Subtext stripped bare in a straight appeal towards clean living against the horrors of juvenile delinquency. Think Mr. T with a sidearm. The book is scripted by indie comic stalwarts Jason T. Miles and Josh Simmons, no strangers to narratives of creeping menace. Set against the widespread upheavals of 2020, Crime Destroyer is a satirical broadside against the rise of radical misanthropy, masquerading as a movement for good, clean living. Certainly not every weird old dude telling young boys to clean their rooms and return to God is running a child trafficking ring from their barn, but that it keeps happening seems an indicator of a larger problem. This comic is already 4 years old, but it has its eye set firmly on the worst ills of our present.